Alright, this is Spider-Man Team Up 115, and I will begin by saying I think Spider-Man and Thor team-ups are maybe the worst ones. The problem is that it is difficult to find a villain who is appropriate for both Spider-Man and Thor. A normal Spider-Man bad guy should be a cakewalk for Thor, and a normal Thor bad guy would cream Spider-Man. This story's attempt to remedy that is with Mayru, the Mind Bender. He is a typical Spider-Man team-up bad guy who somehow avoided being Scourge bait a few years later. I also think no one else has spent 5 minutes deciding how Mayru is meant to be pronounced. Mayru, he is another mind control type. I'll admit I see the logic in that being a viable middle ground for Spider-Man and Thor, but by 1982 there was already enough other mind control baddies to draw from, rather than introducing a new one like Mayru. After this story, Mayru shows up in an issue of Kazar, and that is it. Mayru is an alien, and his backstory is awful. This isn't going to be a very complimentary review. Here is Mayru revealed. He is a 7-foot tall alien monster thing with a ponytail. This is written by Jim DeMatteis, and it's just not good. Jim DeMatteis can do some good stuff with Spider-Man and others, but it's like every 1 in 10 times he falls flat on his face with something like this. I think Mayru is a bad character, but the part I really hate about him comes later on. You see, he is trying to kill a homeless woman. Oh, there is a part 2. Mayru is a 2-part story. So here is Spider-Man fighting a crappy bad guy, and after that, here is Thor. Mayru is super strong too. Mind powers weren't enough. He needed muscles. Sorry if I am offending all the Mayru fans, but he is shit. And to tell the truth, I barely even want to talk about this story because it is such a flat line. Mayru, he used his mind blast to make Spider-Man quit being Spider-Man forever, or at least for a few pages. So without Spider-Man, Thor, he has to fight Mayru a second time. And this is like the colour by numbers approach to Spider-Man team up, and I didn't like it. The good Spider-Man team up stories are the ones that develop something meaningful, or they have a bad guy who is credible. Or sometimes when it is Spider-Man teaming up with someone like No Man or Etrigan the Demon, characters who are not the obvious people to partner Spider-Man with. Or the best is when it is a good story that happens to be a team-up issue. When it's like this, and it's just so clearly a story that can be dismissed, a story that can be skipped, a story designed to not affect Spider-Man or Thor, while also not doing anything special with either of them. This is bad Spider-Man team-up. The early issues of the series were all like this. You could probably make a solid argument that the first batch of issues of Spider-Man team-up might not even be canon because there was so little consequence to Spider-Man or the other characters who were involved in them. Sometimes simplicity like that works, but where this gets to a new level of bad is the story involving Miru. The homeless woman that he was trying to kill, this is her here, the homeless woman from the start. Well, we find out after some more stupid fighting that the homeless woman is an alien like Miru, and we get the abysmal backstory here. They come from a planet where there are two types of species, the haves and the have-nas. Do you get it? It's like haves and have-nots. So fucking genius. It is a pathetic allegory for a pathetic bad guy in a pathetic story. What is your favourite Spider-Man team-up issue or story? Don't worry, I will actually agree that one, and only one, of the Christopher Clairvoyant issues are readable. Not the Captain Britain one, though. The only reason I have this terrible story is because the second part brings in Velcro from the Defenders, and it actually features some important mythology stuff for her, and it leads into a Defender story with Amanda the Enchanter. I wish it didn't, because this issue is honestly awful. I don't like anything about it. Hate is a strong word, and I don't know if I would say I hate this issue, but I definitely do not like it. The bad guy sucks. The story sucks. The two characters actually didn't do much teaming up at all, and it all just sucks. This is the suckiest bunch of suck that ever sucked. 7 sucky thumbs up.